So Dustin Poirier has just given a list of potential opponents that he's going to face next. Now, obviously, there were rumours that Dustin Poirier was going to retire after that Islam Makhachev loss, but it seems like he is looking to fight maybe one or two more times, and he's given us a list of potential opponents right here. So today, we're going to react to these potential opponents, talk about which fight we'd like to see least the most. Starting off with Nate Diaz. Obviously, this would be a big money fight for Dustin Poirier, so I totally understand why he's called Nate Diaz out. Obviously, they have had history before. They were meant to fight way back ages ago. I can't remember. I think Poirier had to get hip surgery, and then Dustin Poirier said Nate Diaz was being hard to negotiate with, so the UFC just pulled the fight. Ignore that voice break. But yeah, in terms of this fight right now, no. Nate Diaz isn't even in the UFC. Let's not forget, I know he had a pretty decent performance against Masvidal, but the fight before that, that guy got schooled against Jake Paul. He got dropped in that fight and got schooled. Really no interest. I think Dustin Poirier would win that fight pretty comfortably. Out of all the fights on this list, that's the one I'd like to see the least. Next up, Conor McGregor. Obviously, another mega payday for Dustin Poirier. The guys have a lot of history together, obviously fighting 3 times. Poirier, they're kind of 1-1. I mean, the leg break, are you going to count that as a TKO win to Poirier? I personally wouldn't, but again, that's the way it went down on the record. It kind of seems like, from the way Poirier's getting on though on social media, that he is looking to steal this fight from Michael Chandler. Why not? I mean, I'd rather see McGregor fight Michael Chandler at this point because it's been talked about so much. But after that, why not Dustin Poirier face Conor McGregor? Only if he wins though. If he loses, I don't see McGregor fighting again. I don't really see the point in McGregor fighting again. But yeah, I mean, similar to Nate Diaz, I don't really have an interest really in seeing the 4th fight, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't really have a big interest in seeing that. But again, another massive money fight for Poirier. If you're looking to go out on a high and make a lot of money to set your family up even more, McGregor is the guy. Next up, Volkanovski. Now, Volkanovski, I believe, should be fighting Ilia Topuria next for the featherweight title. I think the guys that go to the division, the amount of title defenses he had in that division, how dominant he looked, I feel like he should be getting the next title shot. But it seems like the UFC are going in a different direction with Max Holloway, which, fair enough, another great fight and one I would like to see. Volkanovski has suggested that he is maybe going to fight at lightweight for his next fight, which I kind of feel like if he is going to fight for the belt after that, he maybe should fight a ranked featherweight. Maybe a Josh Emmett or something is a fight that comes to mind. But nonetheless, stylistically, this would be a really fun fight. 2 big names. I would really like to see this, especially the striking exchanges between Volkanovski and Poirier. I think Poirier has a good chance against Volkanovski, especially now Volk is coming off 2 back-to-back finish losses by KO. It would be interesting to see. I would back Volkanovski though. I think the guy's very well rounded. I think a lot of people are overhating Volkanovski now for what has happened. I would like to see this, but again, if he's going to fight for the belt after, I'd rather see like a Josh Emmett fight, to be honest. Next up, we have got Justin Gaethje. Obviously, again, a lot of history between 2 guys. They're 1-1 against each other, both having finishes over each other. This is the fight on the list that makes the most sense to me, in my opinion. Again, it's another big fight for Poirier. Both guys are 2 massive names. Obviously not to the level of McGregor and Diaz, but there is history there. They're 1-1. That's the fight I want to see the most, to be honest. To finish off the trilogy, both guys don't have much left of their career. They have both suggested about potentially retiring soon. This is definitely one I would like to see. I think they should have the trilogy. I think timing wise it makes sense. Ranking wise it makes sense. History wise it makes sense. Make that trilogy happen next. Then we've got Max Holloway. Again, the current BMF champion. A big fight for Poirier. Doesn't make any sense though. Poirier has already beat him twice. I don't really see why they would do it a 3rd time, if you know what I mean. But again, Max Holloway's a big name. If Poirier got offered to fight for the BMF title, it'd be stupid if he didn't take it, if that was offered to him. But I mean, like, I don't really get why he would be offered it. He's already beat Holloway twice. Doesn't make much sense, but stylistically, a very fun fight. Charles Oliveira doesn't make sense. Don't want to see it. They've already fought. Poirier lost. They don't really have any real history or any real bad blood. I don't really get why they would fight again, to be honest. Just because they're 2 big names doesn't really make any sense. And finally, we have got Colby Covington. This would mean Poirier would be moving up a weight. Obviously, there's a lot of bad blood between both guys, a big rivalry. I think this would be a fun fight to watch, and after seeing how Poirier looked in his last fight against Islam Makhachev and seeing how Colby Covington looked in his last fight against Leon Edwards, I think there's a really high chance that Poirier could beat Colby Covington. So just going through them and ranking them, Nate Diaz is in at last place. Then I've got Charles Oliveira. Then I've got Max Holloway. Then I've got Conor McGregor, Volkanovski, Colby Covington. And then in at number 1 is Justin Gaethje in terms of which fights I would like to see next for Dustin Poirier. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Who do you think Poirier should face next? And how many of these people do you think he would beat in a fight? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.